Okay, so this is the official announcement of your AP Psychology final exam. It will not be anything surprising. It will look very similar to the practice questions you'll be doing later in class today, and it will look very similar to what the AP exam will look like on May 19th. So the purpose of taking this final exam before the AP is actually so you have a chance to get feedback and revise it before you take the real AP. So it's kind of a way to motivate you to study and be prepared by next Thursday. That way you have those 4 days leading up to the AP to just revise and review anything that was challenging during the final exam. So there will be 2 questions on the final exam. The first question will be what they're calling a concept application. So it will give you some type of situation. You've seen many of these. The example here that you'll be trying later in class today is Jackie has been chosen for the lead role in the school play. She's both nervous and excited about this opportunity. So that's the context or the situation. And then you're basically given a list of terms and you're going to explain how each of the following terms would apply in this situation. So for example, context-dependent memory is the idea that we remember things better in the context that we learned them. So if I learn something in this certain chair in my room, if I'm studying a psychology concept, I'm actually going to remember that concept better if I'm sitting back in this chair. So your memory is actually better when you're back in the same context that you learned the thing in. That could help Jackie during the play because when she's memorizing her lines, she might want to actually memorize them in the theater or like on the stage where she's going to be performing. So that way in like the night of the performance, she remembers things because she memorized them in the same context, in the same environment that she actually has to perform the lines that she memorized. So another reminder, you don't have to memorize any of these things. We will continue to put together your notes document. So you'll have easily accessible notes on the terms that are most likely to come up on the exam. And the real challenge will be also you'll be able to use Google during the exam as well as during the AP. So your focus should not be on memorization. The focus should be on practice, which is why we've been practicing so many questions and revising them, is because what you're really doing is practicing finding these definitions and then applying them to the situation. So hopefully this takes a little bit of the anxiety, a little bit of the pressure off. This is not about memorization. It's just about being able to find the definitions of these terms and then think creatively and apply them in whatever situation you're given. So we're going to continue to practice this leading up to the exam. Okay, and then the second question, this is the type we've been working with a lot the past 1.5 weeks, and this type is called research methods. So this will be all about independent variables, dependent variables, experiments, correlational studies, random assignment. There's often going to be a part that asks about an ethical consideration. Maybe there'll be a part that asks you to critique the design of the study, kind of like in the FRQ number 3 that we just revised. There'll be normally something about random assignment, randomly assigning participants to groups. So this question the research methods question is much more predictable because there's only like kind of 15 concepts that they recycle and just apply them in different studies in different situations. So hopefully we've practiced enough of these that it's feeling familiar. When I asked you all to rate like how comfortable you felt with being able to do a research methods question on the AP, most of you rated yourself as either a 4 or a 5. So it seems like we're feeling pretty good about this type of question. this like second type. The number 1 will be what we focus on from here on out to prepare for the psychology final and for the AP exam on May 19th. So the exam will be next Thursday, May 14th. It's going to go into jump rope as a weight of 3. As I already mentioned, it's going to be structured just like the AP. So there'll be that question number 1. I'll actually include this, which is called concept application. And that one will be weighted a little bit more and you'll have a little bit more time. And then question number 2, that will be your research methods question, which will be weighted just a little bit less, and you'll have 10 minutes less time to complete it. So there's a little bit more time pressure. Again, the purpose of this is not to add more stress. The purpose of having the final exam before the AP is just, again, to give you a little bit of motivation to study 4 days before, so that way you can get feedback and kind of get a sense of what it feels like to take the test in a pressured environment, so then you can revise and perform really well on the AP on May 19th when it comes. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions about this. I'll continue to announce this in the days leading up, and class today should be super helpful in preparing because it's basically just a practice test, and then I will give you feedback before our next class. We can continue to improve on these questions. Okay, thank you.